Before we begin, I've noticed so many of you are enjoying these stories but haven't subscribed yet. Subscribing costs you nothing, but it means the world to me and helps me keep bringing you these inspiring stories every day. Just one click can make all the difference and keep me going. Thank you for your support. At a busy train station in a bustling city lived an old beggar who survived by collecting coins from hurried passengers. Every morning, he would drag himself to the platform, hand outstretched, asking for a few spare coins. Sometimes people spared him a glance of pity, other times they simply turned away. But he had grown used to it, expecting nothing more than enough for a scrap of food. One scorching afternoon, he noticed a tall man step off the train. Well-dressed, polished shoes, a confident air about him. The beggar's heart leapt. That man looks wealthy. Surely he'll give me a good amount. The beggar hurried over, bowed low, and pleaded for alms. But instead of reaching for his wallet, the tall man looked straight into his eyes and spoke words that would pierce the beggar's heart. Day after day you ask from others, but have you ever given anything to anyone? The beggar froze, stammering. Sir, I am nothing but a beggar. I have nothing of my own. How could I ever give to someone? The man shook his head, his eyes firm. If you have nothing to give, then you have no right to ask. I am a businessman, and I live by a rule: give and take. If you want my help, you must have something to offer in return. With those words, he boarded the train and disappeared, leaving the beggar alone with a turmoil raging inside. He slumped down on the platform, the man's words echoing in his mind like a bell. That night he could not sleep, haunted by the question, give? But what could I possibly give? The next day, he found no answer. The day after that, still no clue. But on the third day, sitting under a withered tree by the station, he happened to notice some wildflowers blooming by the tracks, bright, fresh, swaying under the morning sun. Maybe I could give these flowers to the people who give me coins? The thought sparked in him like a tiny flame. Even a wildflower, humble and simple, was still a gift. So he carefully picked a few, wrapped them in old newspaper, and prepared for the day. That day, whenever someone dropped coins into his bowl, he handed them a flower in return. A few people were surprised at first, then their faces softened, and they accepted the flowers with gentle smiles. What seemed like a worthless flower turned out to warm their hearts. And in that moment, the beggar felt a surge of pride. For the first time, he could give. From then on, every morning he gathered flowers, cleaned them, wrapped them neatly, and shared them with anyone who gave him alms. A curious thing happened. More people started to approach him, wanting to exchange a few coins for a flower. He had never earned so much in all his years of begging. And strangely enough, he felt a deep sense of dignity. One sweltering day, while handing out his last flowers, he spotted the same tall businessman stepping down from another train. The beggar's heart pounded, and he rushed forward, eyes shining. Today, I have something to offer you. Please, give me a coin and take this flower in exchange. The man laughed, clearly pleased. He handed the beggar some money and accepted the flower with a warm smile. Excellent. Now you have truly learned to be a businessman. Those words felt like a blessing, igniting a powerful spark inside. He watched the man disappear into the train, then gazed at the blue sky above, clenching his handful of coins with newfound strength. For the first time, he saw a future far beyond the miserable life of a beggar. I am no beggar. I am a flower seller. 6 months slipped by. The station was still busy and noisy, but the hunched old beggar was no longer seen sitting on the ground. One day, 2 well-dressed men stood on the platform, shaking hands. One recognized the other and squinted. Haven't we met before? The other smiled, gripping his hand firmly. Oh, we've met. Not just once, but twice. Do you remember the beggar who gave you a flower? The merchant's eyes widened in shock. It was you? But how can you look so successful now? The man smiled with pride. Thanks to what you taught me that day, my whole life changed. I used those first coins to buy more flowers and sold them around the station. People weren't giving me charity. They were paying for a bit of joy. I opened a small flower shop, then expanded. Today I'm on my way to another city to sign a business deal. The merchant looked deeply moved, speechless. I never thought a simple remark would help you rise so high. The flower seller nodded, voice steady. You gave me the most precious thing. The belief that a person only truly grows when they learn to give. The train whistle pierced the air, cutting short their conversation. The flower seller turned away and stepped aboard, leaving the merchant staring after him in quiet respect. Word of the story spread through the station. People no longer called him a beggar. He was the flower merchant. Life often does not lack opportunities. What it lacks is a different way of thinking. The old beggar had lived as if he was only worthy of scraps. But once he dared to change, transforming a small gift into real value, he became a true businessman. In life, if you only wait to receive, you will remain powerless. But if you are willing to give, a smile, a word of encouragement, a helping hand, you will not only become richer, but you will help make the world richer too. If you change how you see yourself, you can rewrite your destiny. And you, in this life full of passing trains and chances, will you choose to be a taker or a giver? Sometimes a single small flower can change your fate, if you dare to begin.